Hey guys, Steve Welch here, Beaman Toyota in Nashville, a very snowy Nashville, so I'm expecting more snow tonight. So I'm sure that a lot of you guys are out there in the same situation, just because it's winter time. So I had something I wanted to point out to you guys, and it's something that could be important. So in Nashville, a lot of times what happens is when precipitation falls, it's a little bit over freezing, and then we get the rain, and then it turns into ice, and then like a sleet, and then you have, on top of that, you have the snow. Regardless of what you have, and wherever you're located, wherever in the country, wherever in the world really, when you have frozen precipitation that falls, I wanted to show you guys something that I've noticed and that I want to caution you on. Different vehicles have different ways to do this, but a lot of the vehicles have the power lift gates. All right, so like this one's one of those that has a power lift gate. But if you look on the top, so let me do this first. So what people normally do is they look right here, right, and they'll say, okay, so let me go ahead and clear this out, and they'll clear out the little areas down here that might have the ice that's kind of got under here, and I'm just kind of doing this on the fly, of course. So but you can kind of see, all right, oh good, there's the rest of that, and then that's out of there, and and then good, we're good to open it, right? Well, the problem is that you're really not, because you're missing one thing, and a lot of people miss it, and it causes damage. So look up here. Now this is, a solid piece of ice. So you can see how thick this particular ice is right here, and just trying to show you there. So you can see how thick that was. Well, if you were to just open this, and that's a really good shot for seeing how thick the ice was that came down, and how and some of this is melted a little bit actually in the sunlight. So if you were to open this back gate with the ice still on, this right here is called the spoiler, with the ice still on the spoiler, and if this is solid like what this is, you can tell how solid that was. What you're going to do is you're going to snap this spoiler off. These spoilers are usually plastic. This one is as well, all right? So whether you're on a Nissan, on a Chevy, on a GMC, whatever you're on, a Honda, if you're on a van or an SUV or anything that has a power up lift gate, there's a lot of things to remember. Number one is that lift gates, usually the shocks in it are more powerful than what it needs to actually lift the gate. So so once it starts pushing that gate up, you're going to have one of two things happen. You're going to have your jam protection that's going to it's going to say, all right, there's something blocking me, I can't open. But more likely than not, it's not going to see the jam protection from the top of the lift gate. All right, so you'll push this lift gate open more likely than not, and what's going to happen is that ice is going to cause this piece to snap off, this piece to break possibly. Like I said, there's design functions that are supposed to help, but worst case scenario, those lifts are strong enough to power through that. And usually the jam protection, it's watching for you to have some type of an obstruction at the back, all right? So that top, this pivot point, isn't actually pushing down as hard as what it would if you were to have something stopping it right here, all right? So my whole point for making this video is that I don't want you guys to just go, all right, the edges are clear, so I'm good. Don't do that. Kind of pop up here, you can see it's all movable. This will move pretty easily. So if you get all this up, all right, and then, just kind of get that off there. You can see how I'm doing this. Use a scraper if you have to, whatever, but just kind of get all of that off of there, right? And now when you open it, you're going to have two things that are going to help, is that it's not going to push on this piece right here and cause you hundreds or more in damage to get this replaced, because usually, by the way, these pieces will come unpainted a lot of times, and you'll actually have to pay to paint them too. So it can be a pretty good amount of damage to have opened it with that ice there. The other thing you're not going to do is you're not going to have all of this ice or snow or whatever it is fall inside the vehicle. So when you're wiping it off, if you don't have ice and you're wiping it off, definitely wipe the top where your lift gate is if you plan on opening it, especially. The other thing is, when you have ice like this, guys, I have been driving and seeing ice fly off of cars, all right, and in front of me. They're just flying off of cars, smashing down on the road in front of you. We need to really, I mean, if you can get the stuff off the top of your car, get it off, because once you heat the inside, they're coming off in sheets, guys. So if you have ice on your car or something like that, man, if you guys could take that off there, that would really be helpful. So I understand sometimes that we can't, but for those of us that are following behind somebody, give yourself some distance and realize there could be a sheet of ice on top of that car that could come off. Worse yet, semis. You cannot tell on a semi if there's ice on the roof. I have seen sheets of ice come off the roof. I've seen videos, I'm sure you have too, where sheets of ice come off the roof on a semi and bust the windshield on the car behind it. So just keep your distance, even though, you know, the roads might be good. You know, right now, the main roads here, you can go 70 on the main roads. There's not an issue. It's the back roads that are the issue. But these vehicles that are driving, you don't know where they came from or what they've done to clear them off. So just keep yourself, safer if you can. Help other people out, and let's all be each other's friend on anytime that we have issues like that. So, but definitely, I wanted to show you guys that on the back tailgates, and I'll even show you this too. So if you guys look, you'll be able to see that the RAV4 is over here. It's got, the same type of thing on the RAV4. You open this RAV4 tailgate, you can have some issues, right? The trunk's not so big of a deal, I mean, obviously the trunk's just not gonna open, right? This right here, this is a Corolla hatch, all right? Corolla hatch, once again, this is called the spoiler. I got the same issue here. This is pretty thick, but if you look around the outside looks, fairly decent for how clear it is. So, and like I said, you guys saw the Highlander, you saw that. The Venza's the same way. I mean, even the vans, whether you have a different manufacturer, Toyota van, they have that spoiler on them, and it's for good reason. Actually, it helps to shield the back window. A lot of times, like on something like the 4Runner, it actually houses your windshield wiper. So it's where your windshield wiper goes. So if, that way, you can't just see it just sitting on the window. Obviously the Highlander sits on the window, but I'll walk over here real quick so that you guys can see, and I'll show you the, here, see, your Sienna. Once again, this is a 2021 all hybrid Sienna, right? So if you look, you can see that this all has the same type of stuff. Different levels of melt, right? Because there's sun's come out for us, but you can see, right? And like I said, this has your wiper back here. The old Sienna, it actually tucked it up under there, but it's actually meant to help shade the back. I mean, it gives it a little bit of a look, there's a lot of different reasons for those pieces back there, but that's definitely something for you guys to watch out for. But like I said, even on something like a 4Runner, and I'll take you over here to the 4Runners, you'll see that the 4Runners have the exact same thing. Now here's the problem with the 4Runner, if you ask me, is that there's a lot of people that aren't so tall, and if you're not so tall, maybe you can't quite see what you got. But if you're not tall enough, you can't really tell, and I'll lift up the camera here, you can't really tell that you're gonna have this ice problem. But man, like I said, you guys could have a lot of damage. Now I've been mainly talking about the electronic, where it's going to lift it up and lift it down, but even if you have the non-electronic, just the Mighty lifts, as I call them, which is a brand name, I know, but if you have those lifts on the back, those things have to be powerful enough to lift that gate, and usually you're going to have some extra lift to them, because easiest way to describe it is you don't just pull it and it comes down really easy. You got to put some pressure on it, so they have some extra lift on them. Well, if you have a gate that doesn't have the power, which the 4Runner doesn't have the power, it doesn't have electronic lift or electronic decline. If you have just the 4Runner and you go to lift that up, you're still going to have enough power to push that gate up. That's a heavy gate, right? You're going to have the power to push that gate up, and you are going to have definitely the power to do that, especially if you thought maybe the lifts weren't working too good and you grabbed it and you pulled it up. You're going to cause yourself to have to pay out for some damage that's going to be on there. So like I said, just whatever you guys are looking at, I don't care if it's a Nissan, I don't care what it is. Every manufacturer likes to do these type of spoilers, like I said, as they're called. So it's not a new thing. It's been around for a while. If you start looking at some of the old cars, you can see them. And actually, let me kind of walk over this way for you guys. By the way, there's the CHR over there. That one's a little bit different, but it still has that back spoiler over the window. It's right there. All right, so, and if you guys look over here, I'll even show you this. So, like I said, it's most of your SUVs will have them. Vans don't, full-size vans obviously don't, but trucks don't as well. So you can see how the trucks are, but you're not opening the gate on the truck. But this is, a used Murano that we have, and you can see same thing right here, and you've still got this cake. If you open this, you don't think that this piece that can move, right? You don't think that's going to crack, break, cause other problems. I'll guarantee you that it probably will, right? And then we'll check, like I said, this doesn't hurt. So look, so this is a Tiguan here, all right? A little bit different, but you can see on the top, it's still got the same thing, right? Here's a Jeep, right? Cherokee. So you've got same thing, right? Here's another Jeep, same thing, right? Now this is an Escape, right? So it looks a little bit different, but realistically, this is still plastic, guys, right? So if it gets covered up, you could still cause damage. Here's a Rogue, all right? Here's a little Mazda CX-5, same thing. You're looking on the top of your hatch, guys. So here's a CR-V, same thing. Hey, got a little shock there. Here's a CX-7. There's this is an Infiniti, right? There's Nissan's luxury brand. You can see it's the same thing. So how much is that going to cost to get fixed? So, here's a Lexus. This is an NX300 that's here. So you're looking at the top of it, right? Here's another Rogue. There's a QX60. There's, so my point is that all of these have very similar types of hatches, and I wanted to show you all these just because I thought about it, and that's it, and a little idea there. So anyway, so Steve Watch at Beaman Toyota. I hope I helped you guys out to not have to spend thousands of dollars on damage, at least hundreds of dollars on damage, and the inconvenience that goes with it. So Steve Watch at Beaman Toyota. Hope you guys have a great day, and I hope it gets warmer soon. But I appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe. Let me know if you guys have any content that you want me to put out or anything that you guys are looking to see. So Steve Watch at Beaman Toyota. You guys have a great day.